Hey there, welcome to this leaf acrylic painting. I'm Mike Ferris. To get started, I'm going to be on my 8x10 hardboard canvas, and I already have my image laid out as you can see. And if you'd like to trace this out, I have the traceable down below in the description, and also a short video on how I transfer images to my canvas using wax transfer paper. So on my palette, I have some permanent black. This is violet, phthalo blue, raw umber, permanent red, cad orange, yellow medium, burnt umber, and of course titanium white. So I'm going to have my number 18 angle brush. I'm going to start with this for the background to get around all the leaves very well. And also it's a little bit bigger to cover ground. So I'm going to take some permanent black. And to that, just a little bit of violet. And now some phthalo blue. And just something like this to kind of give a hint of some of those other colors, just so that way it's not pure black. And I'll just start filling in the background with this value. Okay, so now I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll put some other values on top. Okay, now that I'm dry, I'm going to start laying other values on top, and I'm going to use my number 7 natural flat bristle brush. These natural bristles are going to really make it easy to do a bokeh, out of focus, blurry background here. And I'm going to go ahead and load this up with some of that violet, some black. I'm going to get some raw umber this time into that. So these 4 colors with blue, brown, and violet and black is what I'm going to be using here. So now I'm going to take a good scoop of white to that. And I'm looking for basically a dulled down sort of a lavender kind of a hue here that's kind of light in value, something like this. And as you can see with these natural bristles, it's going to really make these fuzzy lines and give me this out of focus look really well, because that's what gives the out of focus is those fuzzy lines and that blended look. And I'm telling you, these natural bristles are super for that. Okay, you can see a little of the background through this a little bit, which also helps. And right here with a little bit of paint left on the brush, I'm just going to rub this out into that dark background. As you can see, it's just really going to fade off nice and give it that really fuzzy look, and it already starts to look like it's blurrier already. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and just put these leaves wherever, and of course if I don't like something, I'll just take that dark value and knock it right back. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to pick up some titanium white now, and I'm going to add some highlight to these bokeh leaves here in the background. This is really going to take this to the next level as far as blurry goes, and just give it more of a stronger effect. So as you can see, just using my finger here to kind of blend those down and settle it back, that's all good. Okay, just kind of something like that. You can see that just adds more shine and pop this way. Okay, again, no cleaning. I'm going to go back into those 4 colors again, and this time no white. So that's the brown, blue, violet, black. Okay, same number 7 natural flat bristle brush. And I'm going to go in here and start adding some darker shadow just very lightly with the bristles. I'm just going to sort of fade the outside. Okay, just kind of something like that in between these two leaves here. And as you can see, this is going to add some depth and shadow, and it's going to make this bokeh out of focus effect even better. Okay, now I'm going to take my beat up number 2 nylon flat brush. This is also good for some bokeh effects in small areas. So I'm going to take some cat orange, and let's get a little yellow medium to warm that. Okay, a little bit of burnt umber to dull that just a bit, and now a little bit of red just to add a little coloration to that. Okay, something like that, a little bit of paint on the brush. And I'm going to do the indication of some stems, just kind of something like this. And again, if I don't like something, I'll just take that dark value and cover it up. Okay, no cleaning. I'm just going to pick up some titanium white now, and let's go back into those colors. A little bit more yellow. So yellow and white warms it up as well as brightens it. Okay, just to have it show up some more, and I'll go back in with this. Okay, and without cleaning, let's pick up some more red now. I want to give this red tint, kind of red hue. Let's get a little white into that. Okay, something kind of like this. I'll strike this value in. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my number 18 angle brush, and with this, I'm going to block in all the foreground leaves, and this edge of this brush is going to give me really nice crisp lines, and that's going to really pop off of these bokeh ones back here. And so when you have these playing, it just makes it pop even more when you have the fuzzy and the crisp lines playing together. So I'm going to go back to that value again with those 4 dark colors, the blue, the brown, violet, and black, and take some titanium white and again get it to about this value. I'm going to wiggle and pull it through on both sides, and this gives me a nice chiseled edge, and with that I'll be able to block in these leaves very well. Okay, back to my nylon number 2 flat brush here. I'm going to go into this now and fill in the stem now. And I'm going to take some cat orange, some yellow medium, and let's get a little raw umber again. I'm sorry, burnt umber to dull that down. The burnt umber is a little more vibrant than the raw umber. Okay, a little bit more yellow and white to bring that up some more, make it more vibrant. And I'm thinking a very light peachy color like this, and I'm just going to block in our stem with this. And I chose this brush instead of the angle brush because I do want this somewhat out of focus with some fuzzy lines, but not quite as much as the leaves behind it. Okay, so I'm just going to rub those out just a little bit, like I said, and I get these different variances of how out of focus something is or not. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this darker value now. You can see right here the difference between this and this lighter stuff, and I like to have them right next to each other so I can see the different value change. And let's play this in for some shadow color. Okay, no cleaning, and I'm just going to pick up some more of that red. Let's get this red kind of fiery glow into it a little bit. Okay, something like this. It's also a duller. It works really well coming out of shadows. Okay, a little color variation. Okay, no cleaning. Let's pick up some titanium white and some yellow medium, going back into some of that peachy color. A little bit lighter. Let's strike a highlight with this. Okay, no cleaning. Going back into those 4 dark colors again. And just going to kind of tap the paint off. A little bit more of those dark colors. I don't want very much paint on the brush. I just want to do some shadow and build up some texture now that the base color is down on the leaves. Okay, just kind of something like this, and just very little paint, and I'm just going to dry brush this in, and it's really going to create texture and shadow and all these things. Okay, so on the leaf stems here, you can see it's a little thicker here, and then it gets kind of broken up here. So playing these different effects is what makes realism and builds up texture and all those things. Okay, so right here, I'm going to put another background leaf because I want to pop some dark against some light. And so I'm going to go now just titanium white without cleaning. So see, right back at that light value again. And this is what's cool is I can just add more white or just more of the dark colors and just go back and forth. And I don't really have to clean much. And it really saves some time and from having to load the brush again. So right here, just going to fill this in. You can see again, I'm going to make this bokeh and out of focus, and I'm going to use this brush. And so now I'm going to take those dark values by going into black, blue, violet again, raw umber, and of course no white. And with this dark value, I want to hit just the very edges and brush this out just a little bit and fade that over some of that light value. And see, like this, it just gives that out of focus and that blended look again. Okay, so even without a natural bristle brush, this is another way to do it with a nylon brush. Okay, so now again, without cleaning, let's get some more titanium white and let's go in there and strike a highlight just the same as the other ones. Okay, again, no cleaning. I'm going to go back into that dark value by getting those 4 values again. Okay, no white again. Okay, just changing right back, and let's put some more shadow in. Okay, now I want to add a blue hue to that in those same values, so I'm just going to get some phthalo blue, some raw umber. Let's get some titanium white and a little bit more phthalo blue. So I'm looking for this very light blue hue to it now. So you can just change the values, and I'm getting rid of most of the paint off the brush. I just want to glaze this in. I don't really want to take over anything and just give a hint of some of this blue value in here. This really ramps up some shine and really just adds some beauty to the leaf in this kind of way. So I'll just strike that here just very lightly with a dry brush, very little paint again on the brush, and let's put some in a couple more spots. Okay, so no cleaning again, just maintaining that mix of color on my brush. I'm just going to alter it again by taking some raw umber, going into that light value again. Okay, a little bit more brown. I'm looking for this gray value with a slight bit of a brown hue to it. And I'm just going to sort of dance this color onto the leaf just a little bit. Okay, no cleaning. Let's go now into some more of that dark value again. So again, just taking those same 4 colors, a little bit more black into that to darken it. And again, I'm going to dance this shadow in. Okay, no cleaning again. I'm going to take some titanium white, and this time more titanium white to make it even lighter. And this is going to be my highlight color, and I'll just strike the leaf here and there with this. Okay, now I have my script liner brush now, and with lots of water and permanent black, I'm going to pull through as I turn it, and that brings it to a nice sharp point. And with the very point, I'm going to strike in some very detailed parts of the vein here on the leaves. So just getting it established first and then adding more paint to follow what I did. And I wanted to do it with light paint first, just in case I messed up. I could easily just cover it up with that light value. And now, like I said, more paint now that I got the light line established to show me where I wanted to put it. Okay, so just holding a steady hand as much as I can. Again, I can cover it if it gets out of line with that light value. So something kind of like that. It's like a double vein. And now with no cleaning necessary, I'm just going to take some titanium white. Okay, pulling it through as I turn it again with lots of water. And I want to strike the center. And I want to maintain those lines on either side and not cover those up as I pull this highlight down. Okay, with more permanent black again, doing another double vein here, or spine, or whatever it's called. Okay, just on down the leaf like so. Okay, now I'm going back to my number 7 natural flat bristle brush. I'm going to tap some things onto the leaves here for texture. Okay, and so now I'm going to get a little white, and I'm going to go back into those dark values. Let's get some raw umber, blue, black, and violet, and I just want to tap really hard and just really open up the bristles. Okay, just kind of something like that, and I'm just going to tap that on, and this is going to build texture. Okay, no cleaning, something like that. I'm just going to take some titanium white now. Let's go back to that light value, and again, tapping to open up those bristles. Okay, and then let's tap some of this in for some highlight. Alrighty, back to my number 2 nylon beat up flat brush, and I'm going to go titanium white now. And let's go back into that light lavender color here. And again, I want to strike some more highlights with this. Okay, again, no cleaning most of that color off my brush. I'm going to go now into just permanent black. Okay, no other colors with it. And I'm going to start doing some water drops. So with this nylon flat brush, I'm going to be able to do some fuzzy lines. I'm going to use my finger even to kind of blend it out. I want some of these on this leaf to be out of focus a bit. And so I'm not going to worry about no crisp lines, of course. I'm going to use the beat up flat brush here to kind of make that out of focus fuzzy line. Okay, so these are just the shadows for the water drops. Alrighty, now with my number 3 nylon round brush, I'm going to go into titanium white with that, pulling through as I turn it to a nice sharp point. And with that, I'm just going to put the striking highlights onto the water drops like so. And I want to sort of fade them out like this for that bokeh effect. Okay, with that same brush now, I'm going to go into permanent black. And as you can see, I'm going to pull it through again as I turn it. And that brings it to that nice sharp tip. And I find this to be ideally the brush for making these round shapes and all these different varying sizes and all of that for the water drops. So just randomly here and there, if I don't like something, I can just cover it up with those other values. And I'm just going to randomly put these here and there. Alrighty, now I'm going to go with a clean brush now, just pure titanium white again, pulling through to a point. And I'm just going to land again these striking highlights on the water drops. And this time I want these ones in focus, so I'm not going to fuzz them out or blend them out or anything. So see, they have those crisp lines. And of course, not covering up all that dark and just making these water drops pop. Alrighty, so with my script liner brush, lots of water and titanium white, I'm going to go ahead and sign. And I want to thank you for following along and for your support. If you have not subscribed or you're new, please do me a favor and do so. This helps me to keep making these videos and bringing you guys these lessons. And as always, let me hear down below how this went. Any questions or comments, I'll do my best to answer anything. So as you can see, just a lot of colors, 9 colors involved in this monochromatic looking piece. And you wouldn't think when you looked at it, but we saw 4 of them that were used to get the main value, and then of course more or less white, and we can alter the values. And with all the black, very forgiving. So this is a very easy piece. So definitely go for this. And as always, I want to wish you well and happy painting to you.